Well, what's up, gamers? Peace and Grease here, and today we're back in Cyberpunk 2077 with Update 1.5, and in particular, we're going to be taking a look at all 4 new apartments. I will be giving you points of reference on the map, but bear in mind that when you log into Cyberpunk after downloading this update, these will actually become quests, and they will have their own unique quest markers, and you can actually track these individual quests. But I'm still going to be giving those points of reference in case they're needed. Don't forget that you can go into your map and you can set a custom filter that is actually going to allow you to pick just your apartments or fast travel points or whatever it is you're looking for. So let's get started. Today we're going to be in Westbrook in Japantown, and this is the first apartment. This is one of the cheaper apartments. There's 2 cheaper apartments and 2 expensive apartments. The 2 cheaper apartments are in that 4 to 6,000 credit or eddy range. So if you're looking for a cheaper apartment in a fresh playthrough, something different than V's apartment where you have to go through the elevator and et cetera, these may be an alternative for you. But moreover, many of these apartments have new unique interactions to each one. So we're going to talk about those as we get to them. So this first one in Japantown, pretty straightforward. You're going to walk into this door. To give you a little bit of an idea here. Now this apartment has a lot of candles and candle lighting. Actually really nice looking, to be completely honest. It also has a unique interaction in that you can actually burn incense in this particular apartment, which is a really nice touch, and it's unique to pretty much any of the apartments that I have personally seen. So we're going to start by going to the right. It's a nice view out the window and even at street level. In here is going to be your stash. It's a smaller stash, similar to what's in V's standard apartment. Bear in mind that some of these weapon display layouts change from apartment to apartment. So whether that's a determining factor for you, you'll have to decide. Now, something interesting that I've noticed is this little statue here. I don't know if I can get closer. That's about as close as I can get. It's a little statue holding what appears to be a dagger. It has 4 arms and a sphere in one, and it has the letters in the digital readout FF05B5. I'm not sure what that exactly means. I mean FF, I would automatically think Final Fantasy, maybe? Final Fantasy 6? I don't know. I'm just taking a wild guess. But that little statue appears in another more expensive apartment, and I'll point that out when we get there. You know, CD Projekt Red love their little Easter eggs and references, so I'm sure it has some kind of meaning. But moving on. In here is your bed. This is a very cubicle-style bed that was in V's standard apartment, and it appears here as well, which is fine, I suppose. Moving on, back to the living room and the seating area. There's no real TV per se, so I guess the idea is you use these little displays as a TV rather than an actual TV. In this particular apartment, there's also a guitar that you can play. So you can actually interact with it and you can play several songs, which is actually a pretty nice touch. Furthermore, I don't think I've seen that in another apartment, so it's pretty cool. Moving on, we have again the nice view. You have your PC here. It's actually functional. You have a little seating area here that you can sit down at with a radio. You have a little kitchen it's a serviceable kitchen. Nothing really special going on here. This fridge is actually pretty cool looking though, although you can't interact with it. We go past the kitchen, we get into the restroom. You've got a mirror that you can change your appearance at now. This is new with Update 1.5. And you do have a functional shower if you choose to use it. But bear in mind, if you take a shower, make sure you check your character is wearing pants before you leave the apartment. Just a heads up. So that is the apartment in Japantown. Small, but actually a pretty nice looking little apartment, to say the least. Oh, and don't let me forget the record player here as well that you can interact with and play. So here we are at the next cheapest apartment, and basically it just looks like a parking lot, but the actual apartment is on the second floor past this parking lot. Really a kind of a dingy looking apartment. So this is your apartment. So this is the next cheapest apartment here. For reference, we are currently here, which is on North Side, Watson. And there's a fast travel point right outside it as well. It's a very red apartment, to say the least. We go in here, you have your bathroom with a mirror that you can change your features. You have a shower that you can take if you choose. A really cool feature is this arcade, but you can't actually interact with it. Really kind of a bummer. You have your bed. You have a radio here. Nice little seating area. Interestingly enough, I do not see a TV in this apartment. That's a deal breaker for you. You have your PC that you can interact with. It's functional. You also have this really cool triple-eyed skull here in red. Nice pink flamingo back there. Really nice touches. You have this really small, I guess we'll call it a pantry. Not really a kitchen. Moving into here, we have our stash. In this one, we have a few tools. Again, as I said, a lot of these stash room displays are arranged differently. So, again, that could be a potential deal breaker for you. Hard to say. Of course, you have your stash box there. But that is the second cheapest apartment. Very small, but again, at 4,000 to 6,000 eddies, you can't complain too much. Of the two expensive apartments, a really nice, lavish kind of corpo style apartment. I really do dig this one. I don't know why there's what looks to be grass growing through the floor. I'm not sure. Dust, maybe dirt. Hard to say. Now I gotta say, I didn't hold out much hope for this particular apartment. There's debris on the floor. The first time that I came here, there were people milling around. So I thought for sure, for 40,000 eddies, this was not going to be worth it. But actually, it turns out to be one of my favorite apartments. I believe this one was like 40,000 eddies, so pretty pricey. But I think it's the biggest apartment out of any of these. And I think the two cheaper apartments could actually fit in this one big apartment. Some unique interactions here as well. So if you walk in here, you have this really big sitting area with a really big TV. You have a record player you can interact with. Of course, you have your PC over here that also is functional. Over here, you have a pool table, and this is the only pool table in any of the apartments, and you can actually interact with the pool table. More than that, this is another apartment that you could make a cup of coffee. Really nice kitchen. I mean, I really dig this kitchen a lot. It is laid out really well. I like that they use the bottles of alcohol as decoration. Really cool. Here you have like a little workout corner, really dark, and of course the heavy bag doesn't actually move. Moving on, we have our stash over here, and this is probably the biggest stash in any of the apartments. Although I gotta say, it has a sitting area here, but you can't actually interact with it, which is kind of disappointing. You can't sit there. You got a bunch of servers around. Again, the display weapons are laid out differently than the other two apartments we've seen thus far. You can't sit on the stool, but you do have your stash box as normal. You have this really cool like water feature here. Maybe a water purifier with plants growing in it. But moving on, we will go up this flight of stairs. This is a really cool area. You got all these shelves with these cool decorations on it. Again, here this statue appears. 4 arms, holding an orb, and holding this knife, again with FF06B5 in the digital readout. Again, I'm not sure what that means. Somebody can potentially comment. Really cool area. Unfortunately, you can't sit on the beanbag. You can't interact with it. I was really hoping you could, but you can't. This particular apartment has a fantastic view out the windows. And I would have to say that I personally think it's worth the 40,000 eddies because it is really cool. I really dig this apartment. It's quickly become one of my favorites. But we will now move on to the second most expensive apartment. Or the most expensive, I should say. Okay, we now have the most expensive apartment. This is a Corporal Apartment. I think I said the last one was, but it's actually this one is the Corporal Apartment. Really clean lobby. You have what looks like some type of bellhop maybe sitting here. You've got this nice little laser scanner. Again, nice touch. Really clean, really nicely laid out. And from this floor, you're going to the one with the green light above it, which happens to be right here. This is a really nice apartment. Is it worth 25,000 more eddies? Well, you'll have to be the judge of that. You have a nice dining set here, although you can't sit on any of the tables, or excuse me, the chairs. You've got a really nice couch sitting area that you can sit at with a very big TV. You have your PC here, which you can use. Moving further over, we will go to the kitchen. At the kitchen, we have some tea. If you want your character to pour a glass of tea and drink it, well, you can do that with this particular apartment. As your hand sticks through the bowl. Maybe that's just with the Johnny arm that it does that. You can also brew your own cup of coffee like you could in the previous expensive apartment. I thought I saw something you can interact with, but apparently not. You can sit at the bar, which is definitely appreciated. There's some nice art hanging on the wall. You also have a record player here you can interact with. And your bed here that you can use. And it has the displays above it. You have your clothes hanging here on the racks. You have the bathroom where you can change your appearance, as well as you can take a shower if you wish. Nice big shower. Moving into the stash room, you have again another PC, although you can't sit at the chair. Again, the weapons seem to be arranged differently in this stash room as well. And of course you have your stash box. As far as the view goes outside, it's pretty nice, to say the least. But there you have it. That is all 4 apartments in the 1.5 update for Cyberpunk. Which one's your favorite? Let me know down in the comments section below. And until next time, peace out.